No, you.
We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record. Scotty B. We off the record. And the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record. Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record. You can reach us at the off the record at gmail.com. We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record. And the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record. Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record. We off the record.
We're different from any other sports show.
Oh man, I don't know what's happening right now. What's good with you, man?
What's up, man? How you doing, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm about to get my headphones in. This is off the record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B. Man, it's been an eventful week, man. It's just shout out to you representing off the record down there in Tampa. Give yourself the horns, man. Give yourself
I get some horns.
Yeah, give yourself the horns, man. Definitely.
Get some horns, man.
Yeah, you get the horns, man. You's down there taking care of business, moving the state, networking. So definitely shout out to you. So how's your week been?
Well, since I've been back from Tampa, it's been pretty cool. I've been other than it being like extremely cold. I wasn't ready to like come back because the weather was great. Cause it was what I want, 75 degrees every day. I'm cool with that. You can give me that every day, and I'm good with that, man.
I tell you, when I talked to you Sunday, I was on my way back from the grocery store, just making sure I had the right snacks, right food for the Super Bowl, and I was on the phone with you, and you was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm about to wear shorts or not." I'm sitting there moving my windshield to prepare for more snow to come to make sure that my windshield wipers wasn't down. I was like,
"Hey, my bad, man. My bad, man. Please forgive me, man. I
was wearing shorts. I was like, "That's how you going?"
Yeah, man. It was the weather was great, man.
Let me ask you this. Hold on. You actually packed shorts, or is that something that you went to the mall on a last minute wardrobe change? Like, how'd that go?
So yes, I packed like some there's some Nike shorts, but they weren't like basketball shorts. They're like almost like casual type shorts. They're almost like sweat shorts, kind of sort of.
Like some golfing shorts?
No, they weren't golfing shorts, but they were some I don't know,
some Costco Nike shorts?
No. They definitely came from the Nike store.
I'm not trying to throw no shade with Costco, but they got like some little like fake dress sweat shorts. Maybe you could like go fishing in, or you can go golfing in, or kind of the mix. You're not really into the jean short thing, but you want to be trendy. So all right.
Nah. It were Scott got jokes, man.
Hey, don't act like you haven't been in Costco. You went through their clothing section and you're like, I could pull this off. Maybe I can.
Right.
Maybe I could wear it. Nobody's gonna know it's from Costco. Come on.
Nah, it wasn't those. It wasn't those. So the funny thing was, I was gonna go. I did go to the mall, and I was like, because I want to get some sneakers. That's why I kept saying I want to get some sneakers, and I ended. I don't want to say this because now people gonna think that I just like shop till I drop the But I ended up getting some Air Maxes that I was like I wanted for like a long time. They had them in the mall, so I got those. Then I had got some other sneakers, and it was like, man, why am I even buying this stuff? So
no, you had a perfectly good reason to buy it. The first thing that you should do when you go to a different region is you have to go to the mall and check out what color shoes they have in that region. They're going to have shoes that's not accessible for you in Virginia. So you totally did the right thing. I would be looking at you sideways if you didn't go to the mall and look at what shoe selection they had.
Well, I feel better now.
Yeah, you absolutely have to.
But it was pretty cool. Short version of nah, man. But nah, all in all, like it was great. The game was good to certain people. The Super Bowl experience, the event itself was great. Met a lot of people, man. I met a lot of people, and it was crazy. It was. I kept on questioning myself, like, why haven't I done this sooner? Right? It was like, what? Why were we waiting? So next year, I'm telling everybody now. Next year, LA, we will be at Super Bowl 56. Whether we're going as media or as fans, we will be there. I mean, it was a great experience that I think that if you have a bucket list, that should be on your bucket list. And that actually was on my bucket list. And one of the bucket list things, I think we talked about it before, was going to every stadium. And so I kind of like, and to a actual Super Bowl, I kind of knocked like killed two birds with one stone. In that sense, but another stadium that we got to check off is LA Stadium. So next year we will be there covering the Super Bowl. That was a great experience.
So when we get into that a little bit later, remind me LA Stadium, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it.
Okay.
The game being good, I think. So for me, I was surprised, right? So last week, I predicted the Bucs were going to win, but I don't know if I really believed that. Well, like I wanted to believe it,
right?
And I was pretty confident in my pick, but I was saying it like I wasn't confident enough to put any money on it. Right. I just gave my opinion. I was like, oh yeah, we'll see how it goes. I did not expect that from the Chiefs. So what are your thoughts on the game? I thought it was a well-executed game plan.
So I don't want to be that person that takes shots at the refs, right? But I feel like the refs played a little bit of a part, a little bit, I think that folks didn't take, like I know I didn't take it serious. The tackles not being there because of Patrick Mahomes, right? But I was.
But thank you.
Say that again.
Thank you.
Shut up.
I pointed that out last week.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, you did, and I felt like because Patrick Mahomes was who he was, that he could make up for that, and I think that. The game plan well, I'll say this: the Chiefs didn't take what the Bucs were giving them. I felt like they should have ran the ball more. I was like, yeah, I understand you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Kelsey, and you got Hill and everything, but they was like, we dare you to run, and the Chiefs would not run the ball even when it was 21-6 and they came out. They came out of the half. They should have, and I was saying this, like, you got to run the ball because they don't. The Bucs don't feel like you can run the ball, and they said we dare you to run the ball, but we're gonna have these guys back here, and they were lanes to run the ball if they would have just ran the ball. I felt like they could have easily came back if they would have ran the ball a little bit more. But
that's typical Andy Reid though. And I mean, Andy Reid is notorious for not wanting to run the ball. And like you said, the lanes were there. They pretty much wanted to execute the same game plan that Buffalo executed when they saw earlier that year is we'll keep two people back and we'll drop people back in coverage, and we'll dare you to run the ball. If you can run it, then you can beat us. But if you're not going to run the ball, you're not going to beat us. And they dared Andy Reid all game to run the ball. And when they did run the ball, they were effective. They just kept going away from it. So the refs, they play a small part of it, but I think that's the biggest storyline. Like you said, the offensive lineman and them not running the ball. And Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he was clearly hurt during the game.
But I won't use that as an excuse. Because there's plenty of people that were hurt, and there were guys on Tampa Bay who just played a full season. There's people hurt, and if you look at, I just think that Tampa Bay just executed better and more. I don't know if Brady could have played any better that game. Let me not say any better, any more efficient that game. He was extremely efficient in that game, and he clearly had laser focus. And I saw a different side of Brady. We've seen Brady talk trash before. I never seen him chase somebody down.
Oh, he was like you said, and why I couldn't go against Brady was he was locked in. He's the ultimate competitor. Now, the ultimate GOAT of all sports, I don't know if I would go that far. I still don't feel like he's a bigger competitor than Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan is the all-time super competitor, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that Tom Brady is a competitor too.
Right.
The other thing that I think most people didn't look is that Tampa Bay team was loaded from top to bottom. I get they only had one Pro Bowler on defense. Their defense was loaded with players. They had so much offensive talent. They've got one of the young best left tackles in the game. They've got a backfield. It's just that they've got an all-star coaching team. And that's why earlier this year we had spoke about it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that Bruce Arians didn't make it to the Super Bowl. They were going to get rid of him. I felt like it was a boom or bust year because they had put all their chips in it. And literally they had talent. I mean, I saw people during the Super Bowl watching Rob Gronkowski and saying, you know what? I forgot they had Rob Gronkowski. And that's crazy. I mean, Rob Gronkowski showed up, but they didn't have to utilize him all year.
Well, I think they were working him into the system a little bit. I think it was almost like a I thought you were overreacting at that. I think we did talk about that. I don't think he would have got fired. Rob Gronkowski, let me go back. I think that Arians pulled back a little bit from, I guess you want to say, I wouldn't call him control hungry or going crazy with control. I think he just let the reins loose a little bit and let Brady pretty much control the offense. And I feel like that's when they started doing whatever they wanted. They started, they haven't lost since they lost to Kansas City the first time. And it was that 8-game, that's like an 8-game winning streak. They were in the playoffs, their defense, what that defensive performance reminded me of? The year the Colts won the Super Bowl. That defense was real. I think they were 30th. They were ranked 30th in the league, and they clicked it on, and in the playoffs played lights out. So it was that's what it reminded me of. And man, their linebacking core is crazy. So,
but back to that Bruce Arians point, you're right. He did dial it back, but I think he had to realize he had to dial it back. I think that if he would have, if that team went, and at the time when we were talking about this, it was possible for them not to make it to the playoffs. And they were looking terrible enough to where it was like, you know what, if they go in the first round, they may not make it out the first round. Like they may not beat the Saints or whoever when we were talking about this. And really, honestly, I really feel like if he wouldn't have dialed it back and they wouldn't have progressed out of the first round, they would have found another coach. But I think, like you said, to your point, I mean, it's just my opinion. I think that team was set up to win now. And if they were going to invest in getting the game back together and they didn't win, they were going to find another coach because they've invested too much. But I think Bruce Arians, to what you're saying, to his credit, realized like, look, I have Tom Brady. I can take a different approach. I don't have to do things the way that I've been doing them before. Let me just step back. Let me let Tom be Tom, and got a Super Bowl out there.
Absolutely. And it was good. It was good seeing Gronkowski play the way he did. Antonio Brown scoring, you know, and they just were on another level on Sunday. It was crazy, and for whatever reason, and we can use, you know, the Andy Reid's son situation. Could that have been a distraction? Possibly, it possibly could have. But I think the biggest problem out of everything we just talked about, the biggest problem I had, that I feel like was the reason why they lost the game, was when they showed up. They got there Saturday evening. I literally, the funny thing, I was coming from the mall, and you hear all these sirens, these police sirens, and it was the Chiefs police escort. And they had 4 buses, but at that time it was like 5 in the evening. So I think that plays a part. You know, one, they come in, I believe it's 2 time zones. It's 2 time zones, right, from Missouri to Tampa, and they were there. They were literally in Florida for 24 hours, and I think that's a mistake. I felt like that was a mistake. There's a reason why. We go through the motions, and I understand COVID and everything, but they at least came in on Friday. If they were going to come in, later than normal, they should have been there by Friday. You don't even do that in a regular season game. You don't even do that because of rest. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, I agree with you, and I don't think a lot of people were talking about that, but yeah, that definitely played a factor into it.
So let me ask you this. I know you said it, but is Brady the clear-cut GOAT in football? Just football. We're not talking all sport. I'm talking about in football history. Is he the greatest of all time?
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's not even close. When you have somebody that has more Super Bowl rings than franchises, let alone rings, just appearances. I mean, it's not even close. There's been nobody as dominant. I mean, he's got, in 20 years of playing, he's got 10 Super Bowl appearances, and then he's got 7 rings to go with that. And I feel like Tom Brady at some point beat everybody in his era. Everybody over his 20-year span that was a good quarterback, at some point he's went through you, pause, but he's definitely beat you at some point. So I mean, so to top it off, he yeah, pause. But to bring everything home, you go in and you beat Kansas City. You beat Patrick Mahomes, who is the next closest to you. I mean, Patrick Mahomes may not ever get the opportunity to beat Tom Brady again in the Super Bowl. But guess what? Tom Brady has beat him. And there's literally every quarterback. I mean, yeah, he didn't match up with him in the Super Bowl, but now he's played in the AFC, the NFC, and it's been everybody, man.
And look at the quarterbacks he went through to get there. First of all, he had to beat Taylor Heineke. You know, I mean, that right there is like, listen, I mean, to do that on the road, to come to play in DC or Maryland or whatever, and to beat Taylor Heineke, you know, he just got new money. He just got re-signed today. I'm just joking, guys, but you know, he beat Washington on the road. Then it went to New Orleans, beat Breeze, then Aaron Rodgers. Now
in Lambeau.
In Lambeau, everything was on the road. And then, I mean, granted, it was pretty much a home game, but still, you know, he's done it. So I'll say this. Brady is the best football. Because this is hard to say. Because you got people like Lawrence Taylor. He's the man. Yeah, it's hard to argue this, man. And yeah, Brady is the.
Who's been more dominant?
He's been the most football player in the history of the game, and you're going to be hard pressed. You know, I know people want to say Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, two of the last two times he played Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, he's beat him. You know, so yeah, man.
So this is the other thing too, and this is what he was able to put to bed. He won without Bill Belichick. I mean, he won in his first season without Bill Belichick. I mean, and yeah, that team, I'll be the first to admit it was loaded. But when history looks back, they're not going to remember that. There's going to be like, you know what, the first season he went down to Tampa Bay. They're not going to remember how ugly the start was, and you know, if they were talking about if Bruce Arians was going to get fired or whatever, nobody's going to remember that. They're just going to remember that he won. And it's really all that matters. All right, so the transition a little bit, the Hall of Fame came out, right? So your homeboy, Drew Pearson, he finally got in, man.
Got in.
I bet you was happy to see that.
I was. You know I was, man. Hold on one second. Let me. I think he deserves the horns, man.
Yes, Drew Pearson. And Phil, good stats with 14 conference championships, 11 conference championship games, and the Pats playbook. We see you, Andy. Yeah, he probably did have that too.
So the Hall of Fame, Drew Pearson. I like this class. Because knew this was going to happen, right? 5 years ago, I think we talked about when all these guys retired: Woodson, Manning, Megatron. I think what's his name, but he went back, so I don't think he was valid anyway.
Oh, Jason Lynch.
No, I thought it was John Lynch.
Oh, John Lynch. I'm sorry, I don't know where I got.
I was thinking about Marshawn Lynch, right? He retired the same year initially. He retired the same year as Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson, but I never thought that he would be a first ballot guy, right?
Right.
Marshawn Lynch, but there was I think that Peyton and Charles Woodson were locks, right, to be first ballots. I asked arguments that saying that Megatron shouldn't have been the first ballot Hall of Famer.
You know what? I always thought he was the first ballot Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. And I went back and I looked at his numbers, and he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Exactly. It was, you know, go ahead.
So in football, we're starting to transition to this weird thing to where players are starting to play for just a lot longer. You look at Charles Woodson and you look at Peyton Manning, both of them played 18 years. You look at Tom Brady. He played 20 years. He's been playing 20 years. He's going to come back another year. Drew Brees, the same thing. Megatron played for 9 seasons. And, yeah, he didn't have a lot of playoff success and all that sort of thing. So we can't really hold the –
It wasn't his fault.
It was not his fault. But I think a lot of people, they just forget how dominant he was. I mean, he's got – I believe it was 8 consecutive 100-yard games that he played. He was an all-pro, I believe, six seasons in a row. He almost had 2,000 yards receiving.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a dominant force, and he did that with triple teams.
Yep.
Really, nobody else on his team. The only thing I'll say about Megatron is he had a decent quarterback. When he wasn't hurt, Matthew Stafford was a pretty decent quarterback. But other than that, man, he didn't have much, man. He didn't have much around him. I mean, he made it happen with what he had.
Yeah, man. Anybody that thinks Megatron shouldn't be a first ballot, I would drug test him and figure out what it is that they're smoking or drinking, because your eyes can't be that bad to think that guy isn't a first ballot. So I saw someone compare his 9 years to Terrell Owens' 9 years. And so I did. I was like, all right. But my thing is this: the reason why it wasn't Terrell Owens, I think we both agree that Terrell Owens should have been the first ballot. At least I know he should have. And it wasn't because of the stigma that was put on him. I feel like we talked about this last week or the week before last. You got guys voting for people and judging people not based on their careers, and I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to voting for the Hall of Fames, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, whatever. These are writers that more than likely never played it down in the pros. 99% of them have not played professional football. Some probably didn't even play college football. You know what I'm saying? So, and these guys that are voting for these guys, they have their own baggage. So, and I think that's like Terrell Owens should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. So anybody that tries to say, oh, Terrell Owens didn't get in until his third time, well, it wasn't Terrell Owens' fault.
So I agree that Terrell Owens should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I don't feel like it's a comparison between Terrell Owens and Calvin Johnson. Terrell Owens, as good as he was, and he's got a Hall of Fame career, and he'll go down as one of the top 5 receiver, no matter who you talk to. His first 9 seasons, he was not as dominant as Calvin Johnson was. Calvin Johnson, his first season out the gate, was the man. He was the man the minute that he stepped on it. Terrell Owens, it took him a while. He was battling with J.J. Stokes, and then, he was battling with Jerry Rice, and then, he became the man. And then, the big thing with Terrell Owens was he was consistent everywhere he went. He put up numbers no matter where he went. But Megatron, the moment he stepped onto that field, he was dominant, man. He was just, you could not stop him for anything. So to say that Megatron shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer, I think people are crazy. And so, like you said too, I think you summed it up. Terrell Owens should have been first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So here's my thing with that you just stated. Man, I think in first 9 seasons. So, all right. So I'm going just their first 9 seasons individually. They both played in the same amount of games, which was 135, right? Calvin Johnson started 9 more games, so he started 130 to Terrell Owens 121. Here's a crazy stat: the targets, which makes sense, right? This will make sense. Calvin Johnson had 1,312 targets. Terrell Owens had 1,096. But with those 200 and whatever extra targets, Calvin Johnson had 731 receptions. Terrell Owens 669. Then you got the yards and things of that nature. Calvin Johnson he had 11,619. Terrell Owens only 997.72, and then but Terrell Owens had 95 touchdowns. Calvin Johnson only had 83. So I mean, it's
you can balance it out. You can balance it out. I think most people that heard those stats that you just mentioned, it ran about even. I mean, because it's different factors. I feel like Terrell Owens played on better teams.
Absolutely.
But like you said, though, that took away from his targets. I feel like Terrell Owens got in the end zone. I was surprised that it was only 16 or 13 different more touchdowns. I thought he got in more than that compared to Calvin Johnson.
Well, I think this is just his first. This is his first 9 years. I don't even know because this is up to 04. So I don't even know if you got into the Cowboy years yet. So 04 he was in Philly, right? I think he was in Philly. They went to the Super Bowl in 03.
I believe he had 14 touchdowns that year.
So I mean, you didn't even get to the Cowboy years yet, and I think his Philly years and his Cowboy years. I mean, T.O. may have been. It was an argue was he the best receiver in football at that time. It was, it was him and Randy Moss, but that's a whole nother conversation. I mean,
all right, so I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Wow.
You got Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, or Calvin Johnson, and you gotta take one, and you could take any one of them in their prime.
Oh, give me Randy Moss.
You take Randy.
Yeah, Randy Moss. So here's the thing: there's only one other receiver I would take before Randy Moss, and that's Jerry Rice. So, and I see this is not fair, man. Because
I got Randy too. But okay, that was just interesting hearing you say that. I got Randy. I think I would take. I'll take Terrell Owens. Then I'll take Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, I agree. I would too. I mean, Terrell Owens Terrell Owens did things that only Jerry Rice done better than him. So it's like you have Terrell Owens. I feel he wasn't respected the way he should have been respected.
No, he didn't get the respect that he deserved.
Yeah, because now that I think about it, I'm starting to get mad again that he wasn't a first ballot.
So let's look at this, right? And I want to be fair, and you're going to disagree with me. Mm-hmm. He played with Steve Young. So Steve Young was a Hall of Fame quarterback.
At the end of his career, though.
At the end of his career, the rest of those guys were average quarterbacks. I mean, maybe some of them were a little bit above average, but he didn't play with great quarterbacks. I mean, he made them. And I know you're about to get mad because I know you consider Tony Romo a future Hall of Famer, but I don't know, man.
Hey Scott, I hate you right now because you're forcing Scott. So
that's right, Phil. Garcia was efficient. You are right. He was serviceable.
Yeah, right. I mean, I agree. I think Terrell Owens made Garcia who he was. Right. I think we can agree there. But he didn't. I don't think he made Donovan McNabb who he was.
He made Donovan McNabb a lot better.
Are you crazy? McNabb?
No, I'm not crazy.
He made him better.
Yo, okay, the season that he had Terrell Owens.
That was a magical
season. It was a magical season.
Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl, but I don't even think that was a career year for Donovan McNabb. You know what I'm saying?
The year that he had Terrell Owens?
Yeah, I mean, we could look up the numbers, and I know it's people in there.
That probably more than likely was his best year.
So, see, I hate when you do this, man, because Donovan McNabb is a great quarterback, and you could continuously act like like he's just some mediocre type of quarterback.
He's above average. He was above average. He's above average. McNabb did his thing. He had a very successful career.
What year? What year? So okay, so mind you, he went to the conference championships. What was it, 4 years in a row or 5 years and whatever it was? He got TO, he got over the hump, but I think it was the 2004 season. He had 3,875 yards. We already know it was a different era, but that wasn't his best season. His best
touchdowns he threw that season.
That season he had 31 touchdowns. That was his best season touchdown wise, not yards wise. I mean, he had 8 interceptions. I mean, aside from when he played in Washington, he wasn't really that big of an interception throw. His last 2 years in Philly and in Washington, but I mean, yeah, he had 31 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. I mean, okay.
Yeah, that was one of his better years with T.O. I mean, it was okay. Maybe it wasn't his best passing year, but it was one of his better years. I guess if you averaged them all, if you averaged them all out, it was at least his second or third best year. I think it was his best year, but that's debatable. I mean, Tony Romo, if you really look at it, was above average quarterback. He was an above average quarterback, not taking anything away from him, but he was decent.
I'm not going to take this bait. I'm not going to take this bait because we got to get to the winner.
I don't have a winner of the week. I don't have a winner of the week. So we're going to talk more about this. He was an above average quarterback. I think that's pretty good. I think that's a hell of a compliment for Tony Romo. I think history would be nicer to him because you look at his stats and how he ranked with his competition, and I mean he did phenomenal if you look at it like from a statistical standpoint. But yeah, he was above average. He was solid.
All right, Scotty, you're wrong.
So let me ask you this, right? You think that Tony Romo made Terrell Owens that much better?
Well, Romo, I mean, so repeat that question. I just want to hear this again.
So you think that Romo made Terrell Owens better?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, shit. T.O. had his best seasons with Romo.
Really?
Absolutely.
Best seasons?
I said he had some of his best seasons with Tony Romo. See, this is what I hate when you do this because now you're trying to make it seem like, oh, yes, I'm a Cowboys fan and I'm gonna defend Cowboys. Oh, he's a Cowboys fan. That's why he's saying what he's saying. And that's not the case, man. Like but you got people that agree with you though, because somebody just posted that Tony Romo is better than Kurt Warner. I would agree.
You would agree?
I would agree. I mean,
so you would rather have Tony Romo than Kurt Warner?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you disagree.
I take Kurt Warner.
So you don't think Kurt Warner is above average?
Kurt Warner is a great quarterback that ended up being a Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner proved that he could take two different franchises to the Super Bowl. Kurt Warner, Tony Romo, statistically, is in the same sentence as Kurt Warner, just off of sheer statistics. But the eye test, I gotta go with Kurt Warner.
Are you kidding me? The eye test.
Yeah, I gotta go with Kurt Warner over Tony Romo. I bet you Terrell Owens would have rather had Kurt Warner.
I bet you he wouldn't have.
I bet you would.
He definitely wouldn't have cried for Kurt Warner. He definitely wouldn't have cried for Kurt Warner.
Terrell Owens would have cried for DiNucci.
Listen, stop it. You see, and now this is why I don't believe you, right? Because you want to talk about a loaded team. Marshall Faulk, Torrey Hall, Isaac Bruce. You want me to keep on going?
Yeah, it was a loaded team. It was a loaded team, but
and then if you want to go to the Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald, and I could rip that roster because it wasn't Anquan. Was Anquan Bolden on that team?
He was.
Are you kidding me? Like he had running backs galore. So
you think if Tony Romo had all the weapons that Kurt Warner had, he would have won a Super Bowl?
Possibly.
See, I think all those Dallas teams was loaded.
Hold on, man. No, not defensively. Not defensively. And how often are you going to outscore people? And that was the problem. Defensively, the Cowboys weren't that great during the Romo years. They may have had one or two seasons where they were like, all right, they got a pretty good defense. And we talked about this because I remember, I can't remember it might have been 2012 or maybe 2014. And I said the Cowboys are going to have a top 5 offense. They're going to win. And I remember y'all almost laughed me off the phone because this was before the season. And they said, oh, you're just saying this because you're a Cowboys fan. And I wasn't. I said they're going to have a top 5 offense. They're going to do X, Y, and Z. This was with Dez, as a matter of fact. And they had a top 5 offense.
All right, what up, Chris? And somebody just posted an interesting question. I want to get you to say, all right, so we disagree about Tony Romo. Do you think that Eli Manning was better than Kurt Warner?
Whoa. No, hell no. No. And I can't.
It was in the comments. It was in the comments.
Listen. Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. No. Eli Manning is not better than Romo. Eli Manning is not better than Kurt Warner. Eli Manning shouldn't even be in the same. I literally had an hour and a half conversation with my cousin because he tried to compare Eli Manning to Peyton Manning in the playoffs. And I said, even in the playoffs, because he got those 2 stinking Super Bowls, they think Eli Manning is this great quarterback. Will he get in the Hall of Fame? Yes. Why? Because his last name is Manning.
Eli Manning's going in the Hall of Fame?
He's a Manning. Yes, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Not because he was great, because his last name is Manning, and he had these 2 crazy throws that Scott or myself could have made. And it's like, Eli Manning wasn't better than Romo. Eli Manning's not better. He's not better than Kurt Warner. I hesitate to say that he's better than Kirk Cousins. Damn it! But oh my God,
that's disrespectful. That's just disrespectful.
What? Eli Manning has.
They said Eli would be a first ballot. Wow.
Eli's not going to. Eli is not going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame.
No.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now, Scott. If Eli Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer,
Tony Romo's going in. Nah. Okay. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. If Eli Manning goes in first ballot Hall of Fame, I personally have a hard time putting Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame. I know he's got 2 rings, but when I look at him versus his peers, statistically,
and kick his ass all the time. Man, Romo used to throw circles around Eli. Man, Romo was a way better quarterback than Eli. Eli happened to
way better.
You about to have me cursing?
Way better.
Yes. I won't say way better, but I say he's better. I won't even say way better. I won't disrespect Eli that much. I think Eli is a good quarterback. I do think Eli is a good quarterback. He threw way too many interceptions to like. Here's the thing. And if someone correct me if I'm wrong. But when he retired, when Favre retired, I don't think I think he was the all-time leader in interceptions, but never let the league in interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, and I'm gonna look that up. But Eli Manning led the league in interceptions. I want to say 3 or 4 times, and that's unacceptable, man. If you're gonna be that great, that elite guy, no. And I've seen he went on a magical run. That first Super Bowl run, that was a magical run. Maybe the second Super Bowl run. One of them was like crazy. But he didn't even throw for 300 yards in the playoffs until the second Super Bowl run. That's what it was. That second Super Bowl run, Eli was amazing. That's when I think they were a wild card. Yeah, they were a wild card, both of them. But he had like either back-to-back 300-yard games or like 3 straight 300-yard games. And I was like, yo, it ain't nothing you could do with him. He was on fire that off season. I mean that playoff season. But no, Eli is not because you got the playoffs, but you still got to look at the regular season and your whole body of work. And if you look at his body of work, listen, I don't want to hear nothing about rings, because if he don't have Strahan, Tuck, JPP, if he don't have that D line, which was all time great, he don't win those rings. I don't care what anybody say. He doesn't win those rings. If he doesn't have that D line, no.
Thing that's going to get Eli is his peers, his competition. I mean, he's got to go up against Rivers. He's got to go up against Big Ben, possibly. He's got to go up against Breeze. The list Breeze. The list goes on. It's a lot of quarterbacks during his era. I mean, even Tony Romo. I mean, I laugh and I say that he probably shouldn't be in there, but more than likely he'll get in. So it's going to be interesting. So I got a question about the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? They have a dilemma. Should they move on from Big Ben, or what should they do?
Let me get back to that question. I'm gonna get back because I see where Curry's going, and I want to hear what you got to say about this. Since I'm gonna come back to that question, Scott. So I'm gonna post it for everyone to see. Does Shawn Taylor belong in the Hall of Fame? Scotty, that is an interesting question.
From the eye test, yes, but I'm not as well versed on Shawn Taylor's career as I probably should be. Like what he played 5 or 6 seasons. I don't believe he played 7 seasons.
Yeah, because he passed in 2007, right?
Passed in 2007.
He died in 2007. He played 4 seasons.
So based off of that, no. He had 4.5. He was well on his way to a Hall of Fame career. The only argument that I would have with Shawn Taylor is if he was alive, would he have adjusted to the way football is played now? He was a throwback safety, but I'm not sure how well he would have been able to cover.
I'll say this: that's a great point, but I think by the time that the league became a super passing league, he probably would have retired, because he was around with Ed Reed and Palomalu, and and I'll say this, it's tough. I think that if you look at his numbers and his trajectory, You can definitely say he could be a Hall of Famer, but it's gonna be hard to say that, when guys like Ed Reed, Palomalu. So I'll say this. He played 4 seasons or 3.5 or 4.5, whatever he was. He made the Pro Bowl, 2 years out of 4. I mean, and he ended his career with 300 tackles. That's a lot for a safety. He ended with 300 combined tackles. He had 12 career interceptions. Ooh.
He was a baller. Shawn Taylor was a baller. I think for most of us that lived in the D.C. area during the time, or Virginia or Maryland, and we watched them, even if you weren't a Redskin fan at the time, you couldn't help but to be a fan of Shawn Taylor. I mean, just the way he played the game.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was a huge fan of him. I just don't know if he'll get in.
I don't know if he'll get in either. I don't know. I still remember the hit he put on that punter in the Pro Bowl. That's Pro Bowl. All right, so back to your question about the Steelers and Big Ben. Should they move on? If they can't get the contract situated, then yes. But I think that just for if the Broncos could give Peyton Manning one more season that year, and he, I think that they could give. I think he deserves another year. I just because of his career. Now I wouldn't be mad if they draft a quarterback, because we understand what's happening. I don't think that their future quarterback is on their roster right now. So
definitely not Mason Rudolph or not Dwayne Haskins.
Right. I don't think that. So I do think bring him in. I mean, we honestly, the book isn't written on Dwayne Haskins, but I do say you bring him in. You adjust the contract, because they have a lot of work to do, because Connor's a free agent, Juju's a free agent. What's his name that just got hurt this past season? Their edge rusher. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Not Watt, but the other guy.
Right. I'm drawing a blank right now. But he's a free agent. Their left tackle's a free agent. So I say that if you can't, you can't pay that $41 million, because you still have guys you have to sign, young guys that you have to sign, and you still have Dupree, Bud Dupree, and you still have to make things happen. So if they can reschedule that, if they can restructure that contract, then absolutely you give Big Ben another shot. If not, then you call it's a wrap.
I think they need to part ways. I think it's time. They're just prolonging. It. They have to find another quarterback, and they've got to move on. Like you said, it depends what he's going to do, but will he restructure his contract? Probably not. I think you said it first, and I didn't really believe you until I really started looking at it. Mm-hmm. Big Ben's performance was masked by the fact that they were 11-0. That's Absolutely. A sad reality of Pittsburgh's season. It looked good because they were beating everybody, so people wasn't as critical. But the fact is man, he aged. I saw somebody brought up the Colts. Carson Wentz, Chicago or the Colts?
He's going to the Colts, man. No. Don't just skim through. Oh, Carson Wentz, Chicago or the Colts. Carson Wentz is there. Oh, they got rid of Doug Peterson. Oh, he's gonna. Oh, they have to stay with him. They're not gonna trade him. Scotty, I told you. I said
it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, I heard that deal.
I heard that deal. I heard that deal.
He'll be gone before we have another show.
Right.
He'll be gone before we have another show. I thought it was going to get done during Super Bowl week, but I see the Colts. It had everything. Everything to me says the Colts. The coach, the pieces that they have. You know, what's the name may not be there. T.Y. Hilton. He may. You know, this is his first time being a free agent. So I think that he's gonna go to and the Colts are gonna give it because they don't have a quarterback on their roster right at this moment. They don't have a quarterback on their roster. So
Phil, a second or third rounder for Orlando Brown. He wants to change positions.
Yeah,
could be as good as Dan. I don't know.
So the Colts have something. They have a great offensive line. They have a running game, and I think they'll pick up some pieces in free agency. You know, and so let's you know what because I guess this guy wants some attention. So Kurt brings up Washington, and I will say that when Carson went, I mean not Carson Wentz, when Washington played Pittsburgh, that was the beginning of the end of their season. They struggled from there on out, and you know Cleveland finished them off. Now, as far as Washington and moving forward, here's one thing that I do know is that the NFC East, as much as people like to joke on it, it is hard to win that division 2 years in a row. You know, it is just hard to win that division 2 years in a row. So if you think that Washington is going to win that division back to back, you're highly mistaken. I'm sorry, you're highly mistaken.
I don't know about highly mistaken though. I actually think they can win 2 years back to back. You look at the Eagles. If they get rid of Carson Wentz, they're not going. Yeah, they're not. They're in a full rebuild. You look at the Giants, even though they've been competitive, they're pretty much in a rebuild. You look at the Washington football team. I mean, if they get some pieces and they don't address a quarterback in the draft, and they go with the three bums that they have now, and I call them bums, Kurt, and they get some pieces in there, they can be 9-7. I mean, you look at it; they were 6-8 or 6-9.
17. It's 17 games next year.
Yeah, so they get. I think they can win that division twice.
Are you willing? Would you be willing to make a bet?
It's too early to tell. Maybe closer to the season, maybe. But the Cowboys have to show and prove. They don't get the benefit of the doubt that, oh, yeah, they could just walk in and beat the Washington football team. They could beat the Eagles. And they could beat the Giants. They haven't done so in a very long time. So right now, the Cowboys is the doormat of that division.
Scott, stop that.
The Cowboys are the doormat of that division.
My gosh. So he's trying to rile me up, y'all. That's all he's trying to do. Because clearly he just lied, I've never known him to be a liar until right now. Scott, really? You said it's been a long time since we've beat anybody in the division?
No, I didn't say that. I said that just to give them the title or say that they're into contention, we got to see the Cowboys. The Cowboys, the last 2 seasons have been terrible. And I know it's Cowboy fans out there, and they'll point to a lot of excuses, but the fact of the matter is they haven't been very good, man. They have to play better. And we got to see it. Every year we come in with the Cowboys and, oh, it's these expectations. Oh, this is the year, or this year is different, or we got this, we got that. And they really haven't accomplished a lot. So I got to see, man. We got to get closer to the season. But right now, the Washington football team is the team to beat in that division.
You done?
I'm done.
Like I said, if I mean, I won't give you the obvious that Dak was hurt or that Dak got hurt. I gotta post this because this is pretty funny. This is pretty funny. This is pretty funny. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious because that technically that is true. Cowboys have never beat the team with no name. But this year was real flukish. Phil, I won't even address that. Anyway, so I guess I have to go on record and defend the team that I root for, right? So here's one thing that I do know. I know that Dak is going to get his money this offseason. I know that we have a good receiving core that's going to be back. I know that we need to get some depth on the O-line. I know that Dak will be back. I do know this, that we will go back to being a better defensive team, because just 2 years ago, that team was a pretty good defensive team. What happened? In 19 and 20? I don't know. Well, we know what happened in 20, and that guy's out of here. So, but you had guys that were out of position a lot, and we'll see. But
so trade Zeke.
Again, I'm not listening to that tomfoolery. But it ain't. I'm not gonna defend it. They had a bad season. They got a top 10 pick. And that's fine. The crazy thing is we were only a game out. 2 years in a row. So I mean, you can say what you want. But they were only a game out. How many games was your team out?
Well, my team was a lot of games out, but my team also had a Super Bowl appearance the year before.
So we just counting the appearances. So
no. I'm just saying that we were relevant a lot more recent than you were. I mean, we were relevant.
Okay. So that was flash in the pan?
No, it wasn't a flash in the pan. We'll be back.
It wasn't a flash in the pan?
We'll be back next year.
All right, let me ask you a question. Hold on. And this is a serious question. And so y'all went to the Super Bowl January of 2020. So the 2019-2020 season, y'all went to the Super Bowl. The 2018-2019 season, did y'all go to the playoffs?
No, but we had a lot of injuries that year too.
So what about the year before that? Did y'all go to the playoffs?
We did not.
Oh.
I don't feel like it was a flash in the pan. I felt like that we had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of injuries the year before. We got all those players back, made a Super Bowl run, and then last year we had a lot of injuries. So
let me ask you this. So it's cool for the 49ers to have injuries, but not the Cowboys.
We went to the Super Bowl less than a year and a half ago.
Scott, I'm asking you a question.
No. I'm being honest. I'm answering this. We went to the Super Bowl less than a year and a half ago. The Cowboys have not done anything since I can remember. They haven't even been close to the playoffs. So all I'm saying is that yes. Hold on. I'll make it quick.
All I'm saying is false narratives, though.
That's not a false narrative.
I finished.
All I'm saying is that you're saying that the Cowboys will more than likely win the division. I'm saying I gotta see it, because right now what this team has put on the field as of late has not been the same thing that we're looking at. Like I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. I've seen a whole bunch of overrated guys that think they're entitled to a playoff appearance, not earn it. So we'll see what next season brings. All that stuff that you talked about, draft picks and new coaches, and Dak will be back and they'll make the upgrades. we'll see how it pans out. But right now, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid until I see it.
So here's the thing. Understood, right? Understood. So did we, Kurt. We kicked their ass too. But anyway, that's funny that you say that, right? Because you said we were nowhere near making the playoffs, but since and again, it is what it is. Since Dak's been in the league, which was 2016, he's made the playoffs more than you guys. And yes, that he hasn't been to a Super Bowl. I agree, he hasn't been to a Super Bowl, or the Cowboys haven't been to a Super Bowl, but they've been in contention since he's been there. He's won more than Garoppolo, and that's your quarterback.
Yeah, he's a better quarterback than Garoppolo. You're right. He is a better quarterback than Garoppolo. He's a better quarterback. Dak Prescott.
We went to the playoffs. We went to the playoffs in 2018 and lost to the Rams, who ended up going to the Super Bowl. It is what it is. Last seasons we've been one game out of going to the playoffs. I mean, and things happen, but I won't let you just say that, this wasn't a flash in the pan for the 49ers. No, it was a flash in the pan.
I don't think so. Just like you think the Cowboys are good and that they may make the playoffs next season. I mean, you're going to defend your team like I want to defend my team.
And you think the 49ers will make the playoffs next year?
Yes. I think we'll be back. I think our additions in the offseason and when we get healthy,
are you guys getting Deshaun Watson?
Well, Jimmy Garoppolo won't be our starting quarterback.
But that's true. And I think it starts there. I think they've lost all the faith. I personally think, and this is just me being objective, I think that they should do their darndest to get Matt Ryan. I think that if you guys get Matt Ryan, then you probably would be a playoff contender. But
I say why settle for Matt Ryan? Why settle for him? I mean, it's some unhappy guys out there that are better than Matt Ryan. I would use Matt Ryan. He got Russell Wilson. That's possibly on the table now.
Stop it, Scott.
You got Aaron Rodgers.
Scott,
I mean, hey,
Scott. You know what? It's time. Scott, stop it. Oh my!
You got Dak Prescott. He's available. You got some good quarterbacks that I would take. That I would try to get before I tried to get Matt Ryan.
You're not gonna. First of all, you said Wilson. You know damn well that y'all not getting no Russell Wilson in the same division. Hey, guys, come on.
I mean, it's a long shot, but hey, man. I mean, I would kick the tires there first, and then if I couldn't make anything happen, then I'd go back to Matt Ryan. Like if it was looking like Garoppolo had to be like the starter, I'd be like, all right, let's see what's up with Atlanta. And how at Matt Ryan. But with all the quarterbacks that are out there that are unhappy, that possibly, maybe not, more than likely, at least had a conversation.
I think that you guys are looking to give what you're saying that you don't want Garoppolo as your quarterback, but history and recent history has shown when y'all don't have Garoppolo at quarterback, y'all lose. When y'all have Garoppolo at quarterback, y'all win.
I think the team, like you said before, and like you talked about, the team is just that good. The team is just that good. It
was a flash in the pan season.
The team is just that good.
Scott,
that defense, it's a legitimate defense. I think Garoppolo, he was in there managing the game and able to get some wins or whatnot, but you get the right quarterback in there, similar to Tampa Bay. Matter of fact, we're very similar to Tampa Bay in the aspect of if we got the right quarterback, hey, man, Super Bowl, here we come.
I hate this guy. I really hate because he doesn't even believe this crap. I hate him.
I do believe it.
Scott, listen, 2019, 2019 was a flash in the damn pan.
Hell no.
Listen, and this is why I'm gonna say this. This is why. I'm gonna just go back 5 years. Just five. So we'll go back to what? You want to go back to 2015 or 16? Because you take away 2019. Take it away. I'll even take away 2020 because it was COVID, and I throw it away.
We were in a full-blown rebuild. And actually, the plan was going according to plan. We were getting the players. We were improving each year.
That's a lie.
We were. I mean,
no. His first year, y'all went 6-10, and then y'all regressed again to 4-12.
Right, but we were getting the right pieces in there. The team was showing improvement. I was on board with what Mike Shanahan and John Lynch were doing. Kyle Shanahan, sorry. But yeah, I'm on board with what they were doing.
They were even talking he might get fired next year.
Nah, he needs
Why?
to stay.
They didn't give him an extension. He might get fired next year.
Well, we'll see. So go out and get him a quarterback, and we'll see. I tell you what,
they got him a quarterback. Now they turn their back on him. They got him a quarterback. He took you out to the Super Bowl, and he took you out to the Super Bowl.
That team took us to the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh! The fact remains, when Garoppolo starts, the 49ers win. When Garoppolo is hurt or is on the bench, they lose. Actually, it's when he's
because
hurt.
we have a worse quarterback coming in. If we get a solid quarterback,
Scott, y'all win when he's there. Y'all win when he's there, Scott.
If we get a solid quarterback and we get everybody back from injuries, we're back in contention. We are back in contention. So I'll tell you what, I'm good with where we are. You seem good with where the Cowboys are. I mean, you're good with them, and we leave it at that. And at the beginning of the season, when everything shakes out, we'll see.
You ain't want to bet on that game this year, though.
We were hurt.
So were we. Are you kidding me? What the?
Nah, man, we were hurt.
We were missing.
We had more injuries. We had
you did not
injuries
stop
in the
that,
NFL.
Scott. No,
we had the most injuries in the NFL. We had more injuries than y'all.
No, you didn't.
We had bigger names hurt.
You're lying. Stop lying. You're lying.
I'm not lying.
We had all pros hurt, dog. What are you talking about? Who?
We did too.
Who?
Bosa.
Okay.
Let me see. Sherman was hurt for a lot of the year.
Sherman played most of the year. Oh my God.
He was hurt some of the year.
He played
what's his name? The tight end, Kettles. He was hurt. Our running backs was hurt. Mustard was hurt. The other defensive lineman, not Solomon Thomas, but the other guy, he was hurt. But we had some injuries, man. We had a lot of injuries.
He's definitely using injuries as an excuse.
No, I'm just saying that as a fan, that I'm okay with where we are. I felt like we were injured. I think like when those players come back, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I like our chances in a tougher division because I mean, and I hear you, like, and you
can't. Hold on. And my thing is this: you can't say it's cool for y'all, but it's not cool for us. You can't say the same exact thing that I was saying, and then use that against what I was saying. No, you can't.
I can absolutely say that.
You can.
Because I can. I felt like that because we were in the Super Bowl the year before, and all those players ended up being hurt, and we just had a decimated year that we have. I mean, we can get back. I feel like with you guys, I don't know, man. I just don't see it. I really don't. I mean, it's a sad day when I can see the Redskins improving, and I really can't see or the Washington football team improving, and I don't see it for Dallas. I mean, it's a sad day.
What was your record this year?
Like 5. Well, we might have squeezed out 6 games. It wasn't many.
And you think that y'all right there. So y'all can.
I think if we got everybody back and we make a few additions, and everybody gets healthy, I think we're right back.
So when y'all only win 6 games next year, y'all gonna mark down this day because we gotta go. But when y'all
we'll I'll put a bet on this, right? We'll at least win 10 games.
Oh, hold on. 10 games?
We'll win 10 games next year. We'll win 10. Yeah.
Would that put y'all in the playoffs?
Yeah, we'll make the playoffs next year.
Oh, so y'all making the playoffs? Because y'all not winning that division.
We'll make
y'all might end up being last in the division, but this is the year.
We won't be last.
Next year, who's gonna be last?
We won't be last.
Who will be last, Scott? I just want to hear
Arizona.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Arizona will be last.
You're crazy. You're crazy. Y'all, listen. Y'all gonna win either 6 or 7 games, and Kyle Shanahan is gonna be on a hot seat because after that that's gonna be 5 years and only 1 winning record. That Super Bowl is on. Doug Peterson just got fired and he won Super Bowl. You listen.
Okay. Hey, that's my take. We're going to the playoffs. I can see it. I can see us going to the playoffs before the Cowboys go.
Of course you would say that.
Exactly.
Of course you would say that. But you know what, Scott, we'll have this conversation again. Y'all meet us in the battlegrounds. It's a battle tonight. So, but we gotta get out of here. We started late and it's almost 9:00. But it's cool because I don't care. We having fun and we're talking because Scott's talking out his ass right now, y'all. Y'all don't understand.
I'm not talking out my ass.
I honestly don't believe.
I'm dead.
I don't think he believes the things that he said right now because he sounds crazy.
I believe everything I said.
Scott, you do not believe that. So you telling me one winning season in 7 years is not flash in the pan?
I don't think it was a flash in the pan. I think that we had a whole bunch of injuries. I mean, look it up. We had probably the most injuries in the NFL.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was a flash. I think when we get our guys back, we're going to be right there. All right, so I know it's time to leave because I know the bum quarterback Washington football team is not going 13-4.
Who said that? Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Washington not even gonna. They may win 8 games. They might win 8 games. I'm being serious. Washington will be 3rd in the division next year. But
not with they not going 13-4 with Alex Smith.
Alex Smith's not even going to be there. He is going to be there because, man, you know what? You know what? I don't want to do this, Scott. Let's go. You know, because these people, they you know what? They got Taylor. Is Taylor Heineken? They just gave him a 2-year extension, $8.75 million. So, you know, let's live. Man. You know, they're gonna live it up. But yeah, man. This off the record. I am an appalled Anthony Adebayo.
And I'm appalled Scotty B.
We out, man. All right. My God.
We off the record, Anthony Adebayo. We off the record, Scotty B. We off the record, and the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record, Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. We off the record, Anthony Adebayo. We off the record, and the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record, Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record. We off the record.
We're different from any other sports show.